and welcome to what's happening in the Mother Lode with Sarah.
And Sarah.
So we're here to tell you what's happening this week in Calaveras, Tuolumne, and Amador counties. Because as you know, in our counties, there are quite a few things to do out there, do and see, besides all of the beautiful things you can do in the weather out there. Right now, everything's greening up, everything looks gorgeous. But if you even take a look around and you want to just do something that's a little bit more tailored to what you're maybe looking to do, you are sure to find it. So we're just going to tell you a little bit about some of the items, some of the things that are happening this weekend, which are the dates of
March 11th through the 13th. And it's getting close to St. Patrick's Day, which is
really close to St. Patrick's Day. That is fun,
something
exciting,
fun to plan about.
Yep, absolutely.
And spring's right around the corner.
Spring, Easter, springtime. The kids are out of school for a little while, so lots of fun stuff to look forward to and fun stuff to actually plan for.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this month also is International Women's Month here. Not just here, but all over the world. And in case you didn't know, that's what's happening in March. So we thought we'd bring you a little bit of history of some of the international women that have had some impact on our area. And one of them, I'm going to read it actually, was a very cool woman who made wine. But first of all, she started out as a miner in an era where miners were not.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
So her name was actually, they called her Madame Pantalones because she wore pants.
Which was very risky back then.
Very risky. Absolutely. You could get arrested for wearing pants back then.
Oh, man. Talk about time changes.
Absolutely.
Goodness.
I'm glad I don't live back then.
I know.
For sure. But a reporter gave this report. He was actually coming through Amador County because she actually lived in Amador County, came from France. I'm not sure where in France, but her name was Jean-Marie Suez, and she came from France in 1815. She was 26. Which during those times was getting up there, honestly.
Yeah, it really was. And especially coming out here, being from France, I think we've talked about this before, is you give up everything.
You do.
You don't have the communications that we have nowadays. So she was really on her own.
She was, but she did really well. But this reporter talked about seeing a woman. Actually, I'll read it to you because it's actually sort of really interesting. So this reporter says, we saw last April a French woman standing in Angels Creek, so this was actually in Angels, not in Amador, dipping and pouring water into the washer, which meant the rocker.
Okay.
For the
gold panning,
the gold panning, and which her husband was rocking. So she had a husband. She wore short boots, white duck pantaloons, and a red flannel shirt, with a black leather belt and a Panama hat. Day after day, she could be seen working quietly and steadily, performing her share of the gold digging labor.
That's impressive.
Which is really impressive.
That's really impressive, especially back then when it was highly unlikely.
Oh, absolutely.
Women had their roles, and most of the time it was not.
Yeah. And you could get arrested for it. And I seem to think, don't quote me on it, I seem to think that she did go somewhere and did end up getting arrested.
Of course she did.
Yeah, which we'd all be arrested at this time.
I know.
In this day and age.
But if you think about it, if she didn't do that, then we would still all be in dresses. So it's like she was the pioneer of at least this area to get us to where we are now, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yes, so there's your little tidbit for International Women's Month, Madame Pantalones, and like I said, she also made wine with her husband as well. And they shipped it all over, is my understanding. So maybe that will be a story for next week. So there's our little tidbit. And so now we'll just get into what's happening, which the biggest thing to happen in our event calendar is the Celtic Fair.
Oh, yeah. And I love the Celtic Fair.
I do, too.
I mean, we've gone to a couple of them, and it's just so much fun to get it out there, and the weather's beautiful, and it's going to be beautiful this weekend.
It's going to be gorgeous,
And yeah, it's just very lively, and it's perfect with St. Patrick's Day coming up, kind of getting that Irish mood and music.
Absolutely.
So we got some dates and times for you. It's starting this Friday, and it's going to go until Sunday evening. And the prices range about $15 to $40, depending on your age and category and how much you want to go into it for. It is at the Calaveras County Fairgrounds. Yep. So and this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it will. It will. I've written a few stories on it, which is actually what I'm scrolling for right now. And I talked to Patrick Carnahan a few times about it. And he always talks about the time that there was snow on the Celtic Fair.
That's crazy.
And they had it anyway. And there's a wonderful photograph. I'm not able to get into it now. But there's a wonderful photograph that shows people in their Celtic regalia next to stormtroopers.
Oh my goodness.
In the snow.
Oh my goodness. Talk about a broad range there.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody can go and have a good time, you know.
And they have such unique things to see there.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think the last time we went, they had a magic show happening, which was wonderful for the kids. And then they have all those sports and all those yummy treats.
Yeah, and they have the sword fighting and then the battles and then the jousting as well. So if you've never gone, you should absolutely try it out. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. So
and this starts this Friday and it goes until Sunday at the Calaveras County Fairgrounds.
Yep.
So And then what else do we have going on here?
We have a lot of plays, actually. A lot of theater. A lot of people don't think of our area as a place where theater happens, but there's a lot of community theaters and actually professional theaters who do a beautiful job with the presentations and the productions that they put on. So there's quite a few starting this weekend, actually.
And thank goodness, especially coming from COVID, it's like we can finally actually go and enjoy a production, which is really kind of refreshing.
Yeah, very cool.
So we have, the first one is called The Cemetery Club, and it's actually up in West Point, which is a comedy about a bittersweet comedy about life and death, love and forgiveness, and the power of enduring friendship. So who doesn't want to watch that? So it's by
for sure.
Evan Menschel. I'm so
yeah.
bad with names, guys. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm just going to throw it out there.
I think it's Ivan, but that's okay.
But again, it is up at West Point, and the organizers are the Blue Mountain Pioneers. And it starts this Friday and it goes at least through this weekend. So go ahead and check that out. And it's about $20 for adults and $10 for children, 12 years and younger. So it looks like it is family friendly. And it has, it goes through March 27th. So you got quite a bit of time to check it out. So, which will be a lot of fun. And then the next one we have
Sylvia.
And
right here in San Andreas, which we're filming from the Calaveras County Public Access to studio.
Nice.
Yes. See,
that is awesome.
Just thought I'd tell you where we were.
There we go.
Yeah, so we're in San Andreas, just down the street from the Metropolitan.
And so this will play until March 15th, which is right around the corner. It's been going from February 11th. And the general admission's about $15, and students to seniors are $10. Like Sarah said, it is here in San Andreas, so check it out. And it is called Sylvia. And it looks like a fun little production. And then we have the Juniors Willy Wonka Kids with the
Sierra Rep, which is one of our really professional production houses, right? I mean, they're they are an amazing production company.
I haven't seen one of them.
Yeah,
I'll have to check this out.
They do an amazing job, and I think this is actually their young people's program.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And it's about a 40-minute youth production of Ronald Dahl's Willy Wonka's Kids, and it's a comedy, and it's going to have the magic golden ticket and candy, and who doesn't want to go watch that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And then our last play that we have is for the Amador Arts and Amador Senior Center, and it is the
Cabaret dinner show,
which is adult themed.
It's adult themed.
So,
it's kind of burlesque-y. So, what is it? 18 and over, 21 and over?
I think it's 18 and over. Let me double check the age here, but it just says adults only. So double check that. You can find most of this information on the Amador Seniors Center or the Amador Arts Center, or Facebook is always a good resource to go to.
Absolutely.
And the tickets are running a little bit about $100 per person, but it is definitely kind of be a dinner and show.
Yeah,
so
it's worth every penny, and you're supporting a good cause, right? So,
and it's a 5-course ribeye steak dinner with desserts.
Okay, so you can understand right there, right? Yeah.
And a no-host bar, and they have a live and silent auction, door prize, and raffle prizes. And of course, they have their performances. So it's a full night out. So get a babysitter and enjoy yourselves.
Yep, absolutely.
And then that looks like all we have for our productions.
Yeah.
But what do we have coming up that looks like it's going to be a blast?
Well, they're obviously coming up Irish themed would be Murphy's Irish Days. Obviously, that is taking place on the 19th.
So not this weekend.
This weekend.
This preps you a little bit because that's coming up the next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's always a good time. It does get a little crowded, but that's okay. They serve green beer. They have everybody's green. They have their vendors and their music, and it's just always such a fun time.
Which, don't forget to wear your green because you might get pinched.
Yeah.
So also on that weekend is Dandelions Days in Amador County, and that's about March 19th through the 20th, so that's Saturday and Sunday. And it's really it's a fun blast. You just walk down Main Street and check out a whole bunch of cool vendors, and just meet and greet and have fun.
Have fun. And what's nice is these are in our historical towns, right? So even if you went there without having a festival, it's still really fun. It's enjoyable. You just walk through town, enjoy the restaurants, the shopping, just the ambiance, which you just don't find everywhere.
No, you don't. You really don't. And I mean, we're so lucky to be where we are. And I mean, we're walking and living history, really.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
with these events, I mean, it changes it every time you go to one of these events. It seems like it's a completely brand way of looking at it.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you guys can check them out, go for it. We highly recommend it. I know one of us will be at one of them.
Will be at one of them. We may be at both. You never know.
So speaking of St. Patrick's Day, we do have another event coming up. It is bingo.
Bingo's big.
Bingo is big.
Bingo is really big.
Bingo is a lot of fun. So this is sponsored by the Amador County Women's Networking. All proceeds go to the Operation Care, which is a really, really great nonprofit.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be March 17th at 6 p.m. At the Fiddletown Community Center. And so, and you can win cash.
And Fiddletown's a cute little town, too.
Oh my goodness, it's so lovely.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Yeah, and you don't even think of it until you start driving through and you're like, where is this? And I love Fiddletown.
Yeah, it's just at the top of the Shenandoah Valley.
And Shenandoah, I mean, you just check out that whole region.
Yeah, you do. You just have to drive through. Even if you don't like wine, which probably might be sacrilege for me to say that, but even if you don't like wine, if you just drive through the Shenandoah Valley, take a drive, go into the wineries, check it out. I mean, just to walk their grounds, it's just beautiful. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, they also have the flower farm. And that should be blooming right now.
Absolutely, with their daylilies. Absolutely amazing. Started out as a catalog company.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, amazing.
They've grown into something that really, really spectacular.
Really, yeah, for sure.
And I know that we do the pumpkin, that we go there and get a pumpkin every year.
Yeah, they do the pumpkins every year.
So we'll talk about that when Halloween comes around.
Yeah.
A little bit ahead of ourselves.
Little ahead of ourselves. And they usually have the Easter Bunny come out too.
Oh, and that's right around the corner.
That's right around the corner. So
which we'll get into Easter probably in a couple of weeks.
Can you believe it? I
know. At least start mentioning it to get everybody at least planning ahead, because I know.
Think ahead,
I know with our family, if we don't plan ahead, then usually we end up forgetting about it.
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah. So we also found that Calaveras Arts Council, talking about youth, is doing a youth mentoring program.
And they're really cool.
And I mean, exactly, like who doesn't want to be look up to someone and have an opportunity to help someone else and teach them.
Absolutely.
So they're doing an info session, and it's starting Monday, March 14th at 3 p.m. And you can find all of this information on the Calaveras Arts Council if you guys are interested. Facebook, again, is a great resource to get their information. But they do have a phone number if you want to call that, and that's 209-736-6078. And that, again, that's for the Calaveras Mentoring Program.
Yeah.
And then they are also doing...
They're doing the Ride and Walk for Art, which is always a really cool event that takes place in the West County, I believe. And you can ride, excuse me, or walk. The way I'm sounding, I think I would be crawling, but either way, it's a really fun event. You know, ride and walk and enjoy the views and the experience of our area.
Yeah, and you can choose from 3 different rides for that. You have the 30, the 45, or 100 mile, or a sweet 4 mile ride if you just kind of want to coast it. And it's called Ride and Walk for Art. And it's coming, the registration is due, I think it's due
pretty soon.
March 20th. I believe it's due on the March 20th, but let me just go ahead and double check real fast. Yeah, so it is Sunday, March 20th, and then you register online. So just go ahead and take a look at their website, which is rideandwalkforart.com.
Yeah, and of course it benefits the Calaveras County Arts Council that does a lot of amazing things in our community. They not only do the things within the gallery, but they also, and support adult artists, but they also, you know, partner with the schools and they leave their little artistic handprints everywhere. So anything to support them.
I saw, talking about art and music and how important it is, I saw somewhere that there is like tech schools, or like, how do we get our children ready for technology? And instructors are even saying the best way for them to be ready for technology is through music and art. It opens up this whole creativity because technology itself brands into it. So we highly recommend supporting art artists in this community and the Amador the Calaveras Arts Council.
Yeah, for sure.
So speaking of St. Patrick's still coming up, we also have Luck at Lake Comanche.
Yes, going into that West County. That tends to kind of get ignored a little bit, but there's a lot of things that take place down there. Lake Comanche has a wonderful recreational opportunity, but they also have these wonderful programs too, which one of them is this.
It's a campsite-wide treasure hunt. And it goes until March 31st. So it is kind of a St. Patrick's theme. You can win some prizes. And then what you do is you end up taking the prize is redeemed at their marina store. And so it's a fun event to just get out there with your family and just enjoy the weather.
Have fun. And it's so beautiful down there. If you haven't gone down and visited the lakes in our area, I mean, even in the larger area from Hogan, from Comanche, from Maloney's, and then over in Tuolumne, and I can't even remember the name of the lake right now. I will have that for you next week. But also there's Amador Lake as well.
Amador Lake,
and there's a lot, and Silver Lake. I mean, when you start to go up the highways, there's Silver Lake and Caples Lake, and it's just so beautiful just to go visit them. So the fact that Comanche has these opportunities too, where you can get out and actually go and do something fun, is really a great thing. So.
And it's not just, it's a whole family event, which is nice to be like, okay, let's get the whole family together, we'll go on a treasure hunt, and they're also doing a trout derby, which is another family event, and it started now, and it's going until May 6th. So you go and fish, and you end up winning prizes depending on the size of your trout. So.
And I think they just restocked.
Yeah, they restocked before the derby started. And it started on March 4th. So so you guys still have time to get into that.
There's still fish there.
Yes. So now, speaking of fish, do you have any pets at home?
I do. I have 2 cats. I have 2 rescue cats.
Actually. Even better. Better. If you're going to get an animal, I completely say go get a shelter baby.
The shelter baby, the rescue, the animals. And you just got a new puppy.
We did get a puppy. We got Cricket is her name. And she is a complete little daredevil and love of our lives.
Oh,
and, it's so much fun. But one of the things that you do have to do when you get a puppy is you got to get vaccinations and update them with their microchip. And the
the Calaveras County. There you go. This is happening in Calaveras County. We'll get to it in just a moment. They actually have these events periodically. So it's where you can go and get your pets vaccinated, get them chipped, and I believe it is free.
It is free. And it's a drive-through.
And it's a drive-through.
Yeah, so the first event they're having is this Saturday at March 12th at 9 to noon. And you have to be a Calaveras County resident to do it. And you come in with your little puppy or kitty, or I mean any age, but by age, and they will take care of your animal with a free rabies vaccination and microchipping. And this isn't the only event that they have. They have it throughout the year, and we will keep you updated as we go. But for March, it is March 12th from 9 to 12 p.m. And it is actually brought on by the Friends of Calaveras Animal Services. Is the organization's putting it on.
Yeah, they work with the animal services in Calaveras County. So it is actually at the government center here in Calaveras, which is on Mountain Ranch Road. So if you know where the shelter is, just drive by.
Yeah, even if you want to go pick up a shelter baby and run through that drive-thru, you
go
can
and take a look. You might come home with a new member of the family.
Which is always a good thing.
Which is a fun thing,
Animals are just so much fun.
They are.
And then, speaking of homes and going home.
She's really good at this.
A little tie-in to
our next item here.
So in Jackson, they are doing a first-time home buyers class with the Sierra Real Estate Services. And it is for anyone that's a first-time buyer to get information,
and it can be really, really confusing when you first, because you need a good mortgage broker, you need a good realtor. I would never, ever, 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 let me emphasize that, ever buy or sell a home without a realtor.
For
nowadays.
Sure. Yeah, and especially with the market the way it is,
with the market
you have to be quick, you have to be knowledgeable.
Absolutely.
And you can get all of that in this 1 hour class.
Absolutely.
And it's this Thursday the 10th at 6 p.m. to 7. And it is, we might actually be airing this after this class. So we're going to double check this and see if they're going to do another one. But if you are interested, the number to call is... let me get you the information. Well, the people who are putting it on is the Sierra Real Estate Services, and we're going to double check and see if they're going to do another event, because it seems like
they probably will. Do another event. And any time that you can get any information like that is super important, because it's really hard to gather it into one place, And like I said, and if you get a really good realtor as well, they guide you, but it's kind of nice to go in to know what you're talking about a little bit when you first start talking to a realtor.
And know what information you have to gather, and paperwork and finances, and not to be so
it's not
in
just
the dark.
about the down payment, it's also about the fees and all sorts of payments on top of the down payment, so it ends up increasing your down and all of that, so.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense of at least being, at least being ahead of the game before you get into it.
Before you get into it, for sure. And then back to exercising.
Yeah, get yourself moving.
Yes, out and about.
And so the Senior Center in Amador, so the Amador Senior Center, they have the Jackson Foothill Fitness, and it is at any of the Foothill Fitness sites. So that can be the Amador Senior Center in Jackson, Sutter Creek Historical Grammar School, Plymouth Lodge Hill, Ione Methodist Church, the Pioneer Community Veterans Hall, Pine Grove St. Zion Church, and they also have online Zoom classes.
Oh, cool.
So pretty much anybody can go to this. There's no membership fee. It's just a $2 suggested donation per class, and it gets you up on your feet for 50 years and older seniors. And so it's aimed to improve your strength, your balance, your flexibility. And it's also a great place to meet friends and
for sure.
Get out and about.
Absolutely. And up at the Murphy Senior Center on Tuesdays, they have a Tai Chi class from 10 to 10:45. So that's another
Perfect.
place. Yeah, it's obviously a little bit different, right? But still, it helps with balance. It helps with just your mind in general. That mental focus really helps you think a little better. I think we could all use that, quite frankly.
Especially being stuck at home for so long.
Absolutely.
We need to get our bodies moving, people.
And it's just a fun thing to go and do. And like you said, it makes it easier to make friends and get out and just enjoy your time out there. So.
Which is always good. And the Jackson Foothill Fitness, it's on Thursdays from 10:30 to 11:30, and the Tai Chi was on
Tuesdays from 10 to 10:45 at the Murphy Senior Center. So
awesome. So so we got both counties.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and then we have another event. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I absolutely love anything with a good ghost story and a little spookiness behind it. And we have a cemetery walk at the Holy Cross Cemetery in Coloma this Saturday, March 12th. From 2 to 3:30. So learn a little bit about the history of the cemetery, see some really cool
headstones.
There you go. I was like trying to think of the word. I'm like, I can see it.
I mean, what's interesting with the cemeteries is that years ago, people would take dates to the cemetery, right? They would picnic. They would just go and enjoy their time out there. And now you don't hardly see very many people in cemeteries. It's very odd. Yeah.
But I mean, especially around here. Like, I don't know if anyone else likes to go look at the cemeteries and look at the headstones.
Yeah.
I mean, we have such a history there.
Yeah, you can find them literally from 1849, 1850. It's pretty amazing what you can find out there.
And some of them are so unique. Like, you can still find like the wooden
the old ones.
And it's just, and then you can also just reading the headstones itself, you find like you're seeing like parts of history that happened. It's tragic, but it is still absolutely fascinating to see what people went through.
Yeah, a little slice of history. And like Sarah was saying, just the gravestones themselves, to the elaborateness of what they used to carve, quite frankly, in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So
and that was artwork all on its own. Like if you look at it, and I mean nowadays we have technology that can grind the rock with. You type it in the computer and there you go. Back then, most of it was by chisel and hammer. And
that's what they did.
And it's still here.
Still here. Yeah, for sure. So that actually wraps it up for us this week. Next week we're going to have maybe a few more things for you to do, but
And speaking of that, if you do have an event that's coming up and you want us to talk about it, there is a way to get in touch with the studio.
Absolutely. You can email us at calpeg7@gmail.com, and you can put attention Sarah or Sarah, whichever Sarah.
It doesn't matter.
We'll both get them, and then just let us know. Let us know what your event is, and if you're a nonprofit or a not-for-profit or a government agency, you can actually send us your event, and we can put it on Channel 7 and 9 on our public service announcements. So that's something that we do for the community as well. So it's a twofer, quite frankly. You get your event talked about by us, and you get it on the channel.
Exactly.
Or channels, I should say. So.
Which is fantastic. And then we can also be found on Facebook.
At Calaveras Community TV. That is our Facebook page, and if you want to see any of our great programming, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is Calaveras Community TV.
Which is fantastic. And you can find us on all those and message us about your wonderful events that are coming up.
Or you can Facebook message us too. Absolutely. For sure.
So
so
I guess thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us.
What's happening in
the Mother Lode.
And we'll see you next week, which will be St. Patrick's Day weekend, because
it will
be the 17th will be St. Patrick's Day.
I can't believe how fast the year is going. So, but we will see you right before the green.
Bye.
Bye.